All right, everybody, welcome back to Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very special guest for you. Let me give you a couple of words about my guest. Entrepreneur, CEO, visionary, leader. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Ken Clay. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, man, welcome to the show. I love to get entrepreneurs on my show, people with vision. I'm going to get right into it. You are the CEO of Trackit Technologies. First of all, can you just tell everybody what it is that your company does and how are you able to maneuver your company during this pandemic?
Absolutely. So Trackit Technology is a suite of software for digital displays. The idea is we wanted to give every venue, every business control over their digital displays and assets that are alike. We realized that the legacy technology that was out there, for convention centers, for hotels, for events, when it came to kiosks and digital displays, was extremely outdated and antiquated. And it really did not give flexibility to the venues and to the event planners and to the businesses. It didn't give them flexibility to control their screens. So we created a cloud-based solution that could work for any digital display, any asset alike. And it can be completely flexible and customizable. And you didn't have to be an IT specialist to control it, which is what a lot of our clients liked. For example, we did the 3M Open this year. We had kiosks up throughout the golf course, which was pretty cool. And we gave the power to the client to control their own screen. They could display their content when they wanted to display it. They could schedule it out for the entire week so they could kind of set it and forget it. Mm-hmm. And it also provided a new innovative way for their sponsors to advertise and engage with the fans. Obviously, there was no fans to the tournament this year because of this stupid COVID crisis. But it was a really cool way to show how easy and turnkey our solution was for even such a large-scale event like the 3M Open.
Wow. Hey, as I said, very innovative, man. Yeah. That is very innovative. And I mean, especially, doing all this during COVID. And as you said, when you don't have the fans, you have to find a, alternate to still get the experience. So let me ask, man, how did you build your professional network? How did you build that to establish yourself as a business leader?
Absolutely. Probably just because I never shut up, but always just kind of putting myself out there. Very fortunate. I got to intern underneath an entrepreneur called Blake Barrett's. He runs a sports agency called the Institute for Athletes, and I was able to intern underneath him because I thought I wanted to be a sports agent. Very quickly, when I got to shadow him and watch him in his everyday life, I realized I didn't want to be a sports agent. I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I wanted to be my own boss. But again, very blessed and fortunate that he was able to pay it forward to a young dude like me. He opened up his network for me. He showed me how to talk to business executives. He showed me how to conduct the meeting, right? Lead a team. And so, from there, I was able to take those skills, right, and apply them to my everyday life. And really, when it comes to building a network, is if you have something to offer to someone, right, people are willing to work with you. And I learned that at a very young age, right? It's not always about just trying to sell somebody, but it's how can you help other people? And that has helped me build my network for such a young person.
And I think that is very key, and I think that it's one of the very, keys to being a successful entrepreneur, having something that can help people at all times, especially during these times as well.
Yeah.
So let me just ask, you started Trackit and, you told me about all the wonderful things that you're doing. Like, what were the highs and lows to starting your business?
Absolutely. The highs were both 2020 and it was also the low. and I'll say it because of this. Going into 2020, so all of 2019, we built up our book of business. We went on the road demoing our product. to convention centers, to some of the largest venue operators in the world, like worldwide, actually. We had the Democratic National Convention that we were planning on doing, the Super Bowl in 2019. Again, we kind of built our book of business in 2019, and 2020 was really going to be our coming out party, for that. Obviously, the pandemic got in the way of that, but again, to kind of answer your question, the highs was knowing that we can play on the big stage at some of the biggest events, with our product. It validated us as a young company, right? That something that we built was meant to be here, right? If you will. And then going into 2020, watching it all kind of being stripped away from us without our control, right? That was probably the lowest of lows, if you will. But again, I can't just say woe is me, because we did prove that we belong, right, with our product. And so I'm excited for 2021 with everything that we've proven, right, to come out stronger than ever when our clients do come back to us and when things do start to open up.
Okay. All right. Hey, man, I love it. So what is your advice to being an entrepreneur? Now, I know we talked a little bit earlier about, having something to, to like give to the public or something that they can use, but what is your advice to, being an entrepreneur? Because especially in this day and time when we do have to remix everything, and hey, business isn't what business once was prior to March, of this year. So for all the youngsters out here, for all the people looking to, start their own or go into their own, what would Ken Clay have to say to them?
Absolutely. The cliche, right, is have tough skin, never quit, all those things you always hear. But actually a word that comes to mind that I would give advice to people is be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with everybody you come across. We kind of touched on it earlier, right? The whole network. If you're honest, people want to work with you. People want to help you. You don't always have to have the answers, right? You don't always have to have even the best product, right? Because most time as entrepreneurs, you build something in your head that you think solves a problem, right? But if a client's not willing to pay for it, then you didn't build anything, right? So you clearly didn't solve that big of a problem. So instead, take the time to ask the questions, take the time to be vulnerable and honest, right, with people that you want to pursue, the people you want to work with, and say, how can I help you, right? And then, being a natural entrepreneur, right, you should go back to the drawing board, draw it up, and then say, hey, I've got a solution for you. Can we work together, right? But being honest, again, with everybody you come across with, especially with yourself, will help you in the long run, because so many people think that they have to have the right answers. They get caught up in a lie because they'll say, oh, I can do that. And then, when it's time to pay the bill, right, you can't do that, right? And if you were just honest in the beginning, you can avoid so many landmines in the process.
All right. Hey, man, that is a very honest answer, and I greatly appreciate it. And I hope everyone out there is listening to what this man just said, because truer words could not have been said, especially during this time as well. What's next for you in Trackit?
Yeah. We're just going to continue to innovate. Right now, with things still being kind of closed down, we're trying to find solutions that can help businesses. We've added modifications to our software, such as thermal cameras. We've added gesture sensors, which is pretty cool. So talk about thermal cameras. We've added thermal cameras to our actual kiosk. We teamed up with a company called iAutomation. They're an engineering manufacturing firm out of Boston. Okay. We took the specs to them and said, hey, can you build this kiosk for us with the thermal camera? And we have a check-in solution with our part of our software package. So now people can go up to the kiosk, check in off of their phone with our software without having to touch it. And at the same time, it will pre-screen to check if you have an elevated body temperature. So again, completely contactless, a really cool, innovative way to help businesses as they, want to welcome visitors in, or employees or guests to their place of business, and also feel safe while doing it. I mentioned the gesture sensor. This is something that I'm really proud of, because I think it's going to help the events and convention centers when they start to open back up. a big deal in the digital display world is touch screens, right? You want to be able to touch a kiosk and interact with it that way. Well, with this gesture sensor, we can now turn any display into a touch screen without having to touch it. With this sensor, you can track the hand movements. You can click, tap, swipe, type in the air, just like Iron Man on any digital display. So I'm pretty excited to reveal that when we've got some promo videos coming out here pretty soon. But again, we've kind of just taken this time to do what we do best, and that's to innovate.
All right. Hey, see, man, look here. Ken Clay just told you, he's bringing the Iron Man. He's bringing Jarvis to us. No Ultron, just Jarvis. Okay. But no, all my Marvel people out there. But no, man, I greatly appreciate that, man. And it sounds like you are on the right track, especially during this COVID time. And, we really want to be COVID friendly, COVID free. And man, I'm down to my last question. And this is the question that my show's known for. Mr. Ken Clay, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Visionary. You said it earlier when you kind of opened it up, and it is true. That is probably my strongest asset. Growing up, played sports all my life. I was never, the fastest, strongest, whatever, but I could see myself, scoring touchdowns. I could see myself beating the opponent that was in front of me, right? And so I always use that to my advantage. It's the same thing in the business world, right? I know that, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to business, right? But I can see what I want to accomplish, right? And I don't get distracted from that vision. So just visionary is probably the best word to describe me.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I love it. So look, if people want to get in contact with you and Trackit and all the wonderful things that you are doing, how can they get in contact with you, sir?
Absolutely. Would love it if they shoot me an email. Always willing to connect with other people on LinkedIn. My email address is ken@trackitmedia.com. Always willing to connect, innovate, talk ideas, especially during this time. You can get me on LinkedIn at Kenneth Clay. On there, and then my Twitter handle. I'm always on Twitter, so feel free to just give me a note on Twitter, KenClay16. But yeah, I'm always down to connect and network with other people.
All right, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, man, I just want to say thank you once again for blessing us with your time and your great information about Trackit. And I'm really looking forward to some of the things that's that's going to happen for your company in for the rest of 2020 and 2021. I'm Word with Ty Brownlow. Once again, Ty Brownlow here. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can find me on Twitter at Ty Brownlow TV. And also you can find me on Facebook and on YouTube and at Instagram, all at Word with Ty Brownlow. If you just want to go to the website at tybrownlow.com, get all this goodness going on right here with me, Mr. Ken Clay, you can do so as well. Once again, I thank you, sir. We out. Peace.
Thank you.